Rabbi Eliezer says, you don't need this. Just like the head is on the top, we'll say, hey, that's not necessary. It says that it should be for you for a sign. It means it should only be for you for a sign, but it shouldn't be a sign for anyone else. Now, specifically, I'm wearing short sleeves. This is Exhibit A, that the hand in the lower arm is exposed, but the upper arm is usually covered. So that means that when you put tefillin on the upper arm, it's only for you for a sign. Anywhere else would naturally be exposed. Okay? Follow? Rabbi Yitzchak Omer, ein tzarich. Oh, that's not necessarily. It's not necessary to go through that either. Harei Omer b'samtem es dvar yel al levavchem ukshartem. You have to put this on your heart and you should tie it.
Where do you get lacha? I'm sorry, Rabbi. Where do we get ois lacha?
V'haya lecha lois. It should be for you for a sign.
Ois.
Right. Yeah, also the last psukim, that last pasuk.
That's great.
So, Rabbi Yitzchak says, it says you should put it on your heart and you should tie it. Shetesima keneged alev. It has to be next to your heart. That means it has to be on the upper arm. Rab Chia v'Rav Acha breder Rav Avia mechaven u'manach leila hadei libing. They were careful and they put it next to their heart. Because they bent it towards the heart. Okay. Rav Ashi have a Yosef Kamed Ameimar. Rav Ashi was sitting in front of Ameimar. I went through this once, and I believe that Ameimar may be the father-in-law of Rav Ashi, but I went through that Rav's son-in-law was Rav Chanan bar Rava. Rav Chanan bar Rava's son-in-law was Rav Chisda. Rav Chisda's son-in-law was Rava. Rava's son-in-law was, I think, Ameimar. And then Ameimar's son-in-law is Rav Ashi. So really there's a direct line from Rav all the way down to Rav Ashi. Anyway, whatever the case is, I'm not sure if that's 100%. I may have missed someone in the middle. So he's sitting in front of Ameimar. Havetzayre biyade. He had a bruise in his hand. Kameschazi tefillin. So he didn't want to have the shirt or whatever covering that part of the arm. So the tefillin was exposed. So you could see the tefillin. So Amar Lei, so Rav Ashi tells to Ameimar, do you not hold that it should be for you for a sign and not for anyone else for a sign? Doesn't mean that it's supposed to be for the person himself for a sign. No one else is allowed to see. You don't have to actually put your tefillin inside, like some people do. They put the tefillin inside the cover. You don't have to. It's saying the place that's usually covered. Doesn't mean that you need to cover. It's the place that's usually covered. And by the way, if someone is wearing a bandage, it does say, and he's putting the tefillin over the bandage, that he has to cover the tefillin. It has to do with, there's two ways of learning this pasuk. It's like a cast or something. If someone's putting tefillin over a cast, so it's a good problem. It's a good problem. What's the rule? Should we set up the tables like as if there's going to be always a big crowd, and then people will come? Is that the way to do it? We'll have to make the tables long.
If you build it, they will come.
Only if you mean at 6:30.
Oh, at 6:30 on Sundays. Okay. Goyiv HaShebaraish. Okay. How do you know that the tefillin need to go up on the top? Minola, from where do you know that? No, this is the volume 2. We're going to need that tomorrow.
Sorry.
Or maybe today. No, tomorrow probably. The Tana Rabbanan. The rabbis taught. Beinei necha. The tefillin go between your eyes. Zugay v'shabraish. This is the top of the head. Ata Aimer Zugay v'shabraish. You say that it's the top of the head. Maybe it means literally between the eyes. You have to put the tefillin, you tie it right between the eyes. Nemarkan beinei necha. It says over here between your eyes. V'nemal ha'alon, and it says over there leisasimu karcha beinei nechem lameis, that a person shouldn't make a bald spot when someone passes away. Where is he going to make a bald spot? Not between his eyes, on his head. Unfortunately, I'm not able to make an exhibit.
Hold on a
B.
second, Rabbi. If there's between your eyes, there's hair that grows between your eyes.
Yeah, but that's not the.
Okay.
You
All right.
mourn, they would pop.
It wouldn't be recognizable
Okay.
or whatever. So mala halan b'gayva shabareish makom sheisa karcha. Afkan b'gayva shabareish makom sheisa karcha. Just like over there, it would be a place where someone would rip out his hair to make a bald spot, which we're not allowed to do. And it says beinei nechem, between your eyes. So too, by the tefillin, it says beinei nechem. It means between your eyes. It means on the top. So we have from another place in the Torah very clear what it means beinei nechem. So what we're doing here is we're explaining this an ancient phrase in the Torah, between your eyes. What does that mean? And we're explaining. Obviously, it must mean on the top of the head, because that's how it was used in another context. Rabbi Yehuda Aimer ain't tzarach. Rabbi Yehuda says it's not necessary to do that, to make that two psukim. Amra Torah hanach tefillin biyad, hanach tefillin b'reish. The Torah says tefillin go on the hand, and the tefillin go on the head. Ma'ala halan b'makam arayli tami b'nega echad. Afkan b'makam arayli tami b'nega echad. Lafuke b'nei necha dika basar v'seyer dika sar lavin v'kanami sar tzav. Let me explain what Rabbi Yehuda is doing here. There's when it comes to tzaras. So normally tzaras, it's a spot of leprosy, and they have to leave it to see if it's going to spread, or if white hairs will grow inside it. If the hair turns white inside that spot, then that's considered a sign of tumah. As the hairs they turn from black to white. That's if it's on the skin. But let's say if it's on the scalp, or if it's on a part of the body where there's hair, like the beard. So then, it's not the hairs turning white, it's the hairs turning yellow. That would be the sign. So there's a difference of the location of the tzaras between places of hair and places of exposed skin without hair. So it says just like when we said that you put tefillin on the arm. Over there's only one type of tzaras. And that would be the white hairs. So too, the tefillin on the head, there's only one type of tzaras, and that's the yellow hairs, or the golden hairs. But not if you'd put it between your eyes, because over there you would have two types of tzaras on the same place, because you have the eyebrows, that over there would be the yellow hairs, and you have between the eyebrows, which would be the white hairs, there'd be two types of tzaras. It's totally a different location than the way it would be comparable to the hand. So we're looking for only one spot, one type of tzaras. That's what Rabbi Yehuda says. It's interesting because the way Rabbi Yehuda does it, ain't it tzarech? You don't have to come onto those psukim of
This is a little
a little bit more complex, but okay. Okay.
But all these halacha Moshe Messina, you really don't need a pasuk for this. So all the halachas
L'chayr, that's the pshat.
But that's it.
They obviously knew where to put the tefillin. The question is what's the source? I mean, their parents must have told them where you put on tefillin. It's a tradition. You know what to do. The question is, where does it say it, right? Is that what you wanted to say?
Oh no, I was just gonna say there's a difference between us and the Tzedukim. The Tzedukim still put it on their, literally on their hand.
On their hand. Right.
You saw them walking around Yerushalayim, like in Nachlot or something?
Someone in the Geniza, they found a Karaite halacha book, and then they found the full one. I think in the Dead Sea Scrolls, they found not the Karaite, it's Tzeduki thing. Maybe I'm confusing it. Whatever the case is, it turned out that the Karaite one, it wasn't really, they didn't really all have the same interpretations. It was like sort of like open to, like we have customs. Like they because it wasn't like a clear thing, it was like different customs. Okay. Arba tzitzias makva zuazu, sha'arbata mitzvachas. The 4 tzitzis, they're all necessary. And if you're missing one, it's invalid. we're missing over here the other opinion. The other opinion is Rabbi Shmuel's opinion that the Gemara doesn't quote. The Gemara quotes the way it works is that the Gemara quotes the Mishnah and then discusses it. Normally, it would say v'chulu, and then etc. And then we would go look at the Mishnah. What does the Mishnah say? And we would see that there's another opinion of Rabbi Shmuel that says all 4 tzitzis are each one is a separate mitzvah. And now the Gemara asks, "My beinayu, what's the difference between these two opinions?" It's interesting here. The printer missed the v'chulu. It's a very important v'chulu because the Gemara asks, "My beinayu," and it didn't even tell me a second opinion. Right? It's a problem. Right? This would spend the.
So you're saying basically there's an argument here, but it doesn't tell you who it is.
It didn't tell you the other opinion. Which I know the other opinion because I learned the Mishnah. Right. No, I'm saying that
the difference between the two. The opinions are two opposite opinions. So what are you asking?
But what's a practical difference?
Practical difference. Do you need to have one string, or do you need to have 4 strings?
No, but you need to have.
According to Rabbi Shmuel, each corner is in a separate mitzvah, so
Right.
you can have one.
But according to Rabbi Shmuel, the problem is that if you only have 3 tzitzis on 4 corners,
Right.
so you're missing one of the tzitzis. You're
So
still
what?
missing it. I know you have
but
3.
unless I don't have any. I only have 3. Do I put on the tzitzis or do I not put on the tzitzis?
Oh, so it could be that you don't put it on because you don't have the 4th one.
Well, according to Rabbi Shmuel, you would.
Well, not
because you're having
necessarily.
3 mitzvahs. Why give up 3 mitzvahs because I'm losing 1?
That's the argument, isn't it?
Well, no, because the Gemara is going to come on to some complexities that where the argument would be. It must be that according to Rabbi Shmuel, you still need all 4.
Oh, really?
Yeah, let's see.
Okay.
My beinayu, what's the difference between them? Amar Rabbi Yosef, sadin b'tzitzisik beinayu. If you have a linen garment and
Both strings.
you have 3 tzitzis and not the 4th one, and you're in a situation where you don't need to remove the tzitzis because of the mitzvah of tzitzis. For example, you're in the street or whatever, or maybe it's on Shabbos or something. There's situations where you don't need to remove the tzitzis when it's possible. You started off, it was good. You had 4 tzitzis, which you're allowed. There's a special exemption by tzitzis that when the garment is linen, that you're allowed to have wool tzitzis as shatnez. There's a special exemption for tzitzis because it says it right next to each other. So this person has his tzitzis made, and then one of them fall off. So is he fulfilling the mitzvah of tzitzis, which according to Rabbi Shmuel, yes, there still is the mitzvah of tzitzis.
Even though there's only 3.
Even though there's only 3, because he says that it's 4 separate mitzvahs. So those 3 still have.
So according to Rabbi Shmuel, if there's only 1 tzitz, you're fine.
Well, not to wear it for the mitzvah of tzitzis, but for the
I'm
mitzvah.
saying
but
you're
for
being
the
Mekayim the mitzvah of tzitzis with only 1 tzitz, right? They all 3,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, but
you're being Mekayim one of the 4 possible mitzvahs.
Right.
No, but you're being Mekayim a mitzvah.
Yeah,
Are
but
you?
the idea here is that what about the exemption of shatnez when you don't have all 4? According to the rabbis, you don't have all 4. You're chayiv because of shatnez. You're violating shatnez. According to Rabbi Shmuel, you don't have the shatnez problem because you have 3, and that's each one is a mitzvah. Rabbi Barahina Amar Talis Bailas Chamishik Beinayu. That let's say you have 5 corners. Now, Rashi says you had 4 corners and you cut one off and it turned into 5 corners. According to the Tanna Kama, it's 1 mitzvah, so you only need 4. According to Rabbi Shmuel,
You need 5?
is that you have to put on 5.
No.
According to the Rabbanan, it would be
Doesn't it say al arba conface?
Yeah.
Yeah, about
So it doesn't say 5. It doesn't say chamesh. It says arba conface.
Right, so it's about 26.
The Torah, we have a special limud that a garment that has 5 corners needs tzitzis. But what does that mean? It needs tzitzis. Does it need 4 tzitzis or 5 tzitzis? So the Tanna Kama holds it needs 4 tzitzis. and you just leave the fifth corner empty. Rabbi Shmuel says that no, you would need to put on it that's on tzitzis as well, because each one is a separate mitzvah. Okay. Ravina Amar the Rav Huna Ikabinayo, that the difference is in what Rav Huna says. Damar Rav Huna Yetzi B'tal Sheni Mitziyetzes Kel Chasa B'Shabbos is Chayiv Chatas. If someone goes out wearing tzitzis that's puzzle on Shabbos, so he's carrying the tzitzis because he's not fulfilling the mitzvah, and those tzitzis are not necessary. In
Except there's an Erev, then he's not carrying the tzitzis.
We're talking about he goes to Rosh Hashanah.
But can't you say it's just a garment? Like you can say it's a warming garment or something.
Yeah, but the tzitzis are there for the mitzvah, and so the tzitzis part he's carrying, not for the beged part.
Oh, that's it.
So those strings, it's not the mitzvah. Now, there's the briskers don't wear tzitzis on Shabbos, I think.
Really? Ooh.
In brisk, they're very careful in case it becomes puzzle. It'll be carrying.
Wow.
But there's no issue of carrying.
I didn't know
If
that.
there's an Erev.
Shabbos. No, even if you should because you're not allowed to fix strings on Shabbos.
There's no issue of wearing tzitzis, as we're gonna see.
But
We'll see soon.
The problem is
Yeah,
carrying.
yeah. I don't know anyone. Maybe I do know someone that. I don't know anyone. And there's a lot of people that into brisk, but I don't think anyone follows this.
They don't follow it.
But there may be some very strict ones that do. I don't
I
know.
was thinking the old school brisk.
Yeah,
This is what
There
they
were
didn't wear
people
tzitzis
that,
on Shabbos.
They were very, very strict.
Makes sense. I mean, I can understand there's far.
It's funny because there are people that they don't wear tzitzis. They say, I'm going to start to wear tzitzis. I'll start on Shabbos. One day a week. Okay, that's good. For us, the whole thing is meaningless. Shabbos is just as good as Friday or Sunday. Amar Rav Shisha Breder Ravidi. Haiman, this person, the Batzri Leglima, that he cut off a corner. Lo yavid v'lo klum. He didn't do anything. He's trying to exempt his talis from tzitzis, so he cuts off a corner. But in the end,
It didn't accomplish anything.
Shavi talis balas chamish. It turned into 5 corners. I didn't explain what was going on with Rav Huna. I have to go back. The difference between the Tanakam and Rabbi Shmuel would be that according to the Tanakam, if the person goes out, if his tzitzis become puzzled in a way that one string gets pulled off, right? So he still has 3. So according to Rabbi Shmuel, he's not chayav chatas carrying those 3 because he still has 3 mitzvahs. According to the Tanakam, he has into 0 mitzvahs because he doesn't have 4. So the difference would be if he's chayav chatas on Shabbos. Okay. Amra Mesharsha Haimad Tzairei Leglime Le'avid V'lei Klum. What is Tzairei? It was very long, his talis. So he folded it, and he put the tzitzis on the folds, right? It's like a long rectangle. So he folded it in half. He didn't do anything. My timer, the command the shar yidami, because it's if it's going to come out. The Tanan Nami. It was also taught chamasis atzuris tehiris, flasks that are tied up on the bottom. They used to have these bags that had like liquid. They would make a knot in the bottom. Remember, I don't remember what we were using them for, but I remember as a kid we had these bags. Was it not for milk? Was it for milk? Maybe. Yeah, it was for milk. They would put it over for a baby bottle or something. I remember these bags. You remember such a thing? Those plastic bags you would make, just make a knot in it, and then. So it says all such flasks are not.
Didn't have that jersey.
They didn't have. All those flasks are pure because you're going to undo the knot and it's not going to be a real vessel. Chutz mishal arvim, that they tie a knot and they just leave it there, they would have it like permanent. Amar avdimi min ardoi hayman dechayte leglim le'avad v'leiklam. Even someone if he sews up the fold, right? So he doesn't do it. It's nothing. If he doesn't need it, he would have cut it off. The fact that he's folding it means that he's going to open it later. He's putting it there, right? He's putting it there. He's going to take it out. It's like a ham, or whatever. Maybe he's going to grow. He's going to let it out. Right? Okay. There's a famous Hasidic story where this Rebbe wanted wool from Eretz Yisrael, and it grew, and anyway, it comes to him this garment, and one of the Chassidim asked if we got the schus to make the hole in it. So the way you make a hole in the tzitzis is you fold it in half and you cut a circle out of it. By mistake, he folded it twice and he cut it, made a circle, and he opened it up. It had 2 holes. So he doesn't know what to do. He gives it to the Rabbi. The Rabbi says, 1 hole is for my head, for the tzitzis. The other hole is to see if I'm gonna get angry. See if I'm gonna lose my head. That was his expression. No, it's for my head. One is to see if I'm gonna lose my head. Right. Rabbi Shmuel Eimer Arbatan Aber Mitzvah. Rabbi Shmuel says that all 4 are separate mitzvahs. Amar Rabbi Yehuda Amar Shmuel Halachik Rabbi Shmuel. Rabbi Yehuda says in the name of Shmuel that the halacha is like Rabbi Shmuel. Very interesting. But the Gemara says that we don't paskin like that. That was like a quick escape. He starts off saying, "You follow?" Mm-hmm. He says, "Halacha." Okay. Ravina Habikazal Abasri the Marbar Ravashi. Ravina is going after Marbar Ravashi. Ravina and Ravashi were editing the Gemara. Marbar Ravashi is his friend's son, but he must have been in charge. B'Shabbat the Rigla. It was the Shabbos where he would give the big speech.
Shabbos Gadol.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Shuvah.
Why not Shabbos?
It could be Shabbos Gadol. Yeah. It was the Shabbos by Pesach. I don't know if it's the right before Shabbos Gadol or one of the Shabbosim before.
But it's like a known thing, like that it's. I mean, I think it's known. No, that it's when you say long speech, it's Shabbos. Could be
Shabbos Gadol.
Yeah,
Rashi says that it's by Hilchos Pesach. So he's giving the speech. If Sekana Dechute, while he's walking, one of the strings of his tzitzis come off. He doesn't tell him anything. Kadmat lebesi, when he gets home, he says, "You lost it out back there, out on the street. The tzitzis became puzzle." If you would have told me before, I would have taken it off. He tells him back, but the master said, his name is Mar also, but he's not calling him by name. He's saying, but the master said, that the respect for a person you're taking off, it could be that the actual garment, he would have had to take off his jacket, or it would have been embarrassing. That's even enough to push off a loisase. So that's why I didn't tell you.
He didn't tell him because he knew that it's not 4 separate mitzvahs, it's 1 mitzvah, it's carrying. Right? That's why he didn't tell him.
So we don't paskin on Shabbos.
Huh?
We don't paskin.
Yeah, which is the loisase? Is the loisase the wearing a garment without tzitzis, or is the loisase? Oh, he's telling him because of carrying, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
So, okay, yeah, that makes sense. He tells him back. Well, actually, this is the Gemara that's discussing. This is not in the conversation. So the Gemara explains Ravina that Tirgma Rav Bar Shva Kamed Rav Kahana, that this was explained. Rav Bar Shva explained in front of Rav Kahana, Belavdalei Sasser, that that's only a derabanan, that it pushes off. Because, for example, muktzah or something. The Rashi's example is that if someone needs stones to wipe himself after the bathroom, stones are muktzah on Shabbos, but covered abrius shouldn't be embarrassed at being dirty.
Right.
So he's allowed to move those stones. But to carry in Rosh Hashanah, that not.
They don't have to be set aside before Shabbos, right? Those stones?
That's what you're supposed to set aside before Shabbos.
What about B'diavad? Back then, it was okay?
I don't know. But here it says that this is what it's learning. I don't know the halacha. Okay. Now, Ikadami, the others say it's slightly different. Ikadami mehasam amalei, that he actually told him in the street that your tzitzis are puzzle. Amalei, my daitach. He says, what do you think? Lemishte, I'm going to throw it off. The master taught that, this is Mar Baravashi saying, the master taught that my embarrassment comes first. Right. Gemara says, but this is not correct, because this was only by the alav of Leisaser. This is only by a derabanan. But here he's carrying in Rosh Hashanah. This is a deraisa. Why is he saying he's not going to take it off? Gemara says, "Hachanami karmelis derabanan." He wasn't in the street. He was in a karmelis. It wasn't the real Rosh Hashanah. So then then that's why he's allowed to continue wearing it.
1 second.
He told
The
him.
whole point is Gemara is to try to figure out if 4 is 4 separate or one mitzvah altogether. If it's 4 separate and one fell off,
We're saying that it's all
then
one
he
mitzvah.
then he can walk through the streets with
Yeah,
feet.
we're saying that it's one mitzvah.
We're saying it's all one mitzvah.
Right? Because we're not going like Rabbi Shmuel.
Right. So therefore he couldn't. Therefore he can carry. Okay, but in the karmelis would be okay. Okay, I got it.
Okay, Hajjalach. Okay, it's the step over here. Shakaya. Next tomorrow, you need the new volume, right?
Yeah. 5:30.
Monday.
Monday.
Wednesday's the only day we're not learning, as far as I know. Right?